Joining us now is Joseph James. Welcome to the show, Joseph. How are you?
Hey, Donna, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, you have accomplished a lot. I mean, a whole lot. You've worked with some major big names, Bono and Gaga and like all of the greats, Richie Blackmore. But I'm excited for
Mhm.
you, as being the Grammy nominated artist that you are, that you're doing a solo thing now called Valentine. Tell us about this new thing for you.
Yeah, so Valentine is the first single, right when COVID pretty much settled in, I went back to writing and just playing a lot more for myself. And actually, I let all clients pretty much go. I stopped being the guy they hired for, radio and stuff. My own decision, of course, just because I figured, well, if the world's going to end, let me go out at least doing the stuff I really love doing for myself. And it was cool. And I really had no intentions of shopping it or taking it to a big stage. I just enjoyed doing it, and I figured, okay. And then Valentine came out, and it went to 15 on the Billboard charts, and all these festivals started calling, and I didn't want to be pigeonholed into this ballad guy. Um, so I finished most of the album out. Actually, most of the album's just about done, and it really rocks and it kicks. And now the second single's going to Billboard on May 22nd, and we just booked an iHeart show in the Village, and it's sold out in like a day. And so
Wow.
I'm really excited about it. Yeah, it's really cool. And I mean, not just that. I mean, there's we just South Bay Music Festival out by you just booked us with Phil Lesh and a few other tribute group. Well, actually, players to of the original bands like The Dead, Hot Tuna, and things like that, and about four festivals in New York this summer. And then we start heading over to Pittsburgh and Los Angeles, and so it's kind of exciting. I mean, I'm having a good time and doing it my way, so it's kind of cool.
Speaking of that, do you sing that song? Do you sing Frank Sinatra's My Way?
I've
You have,
sung everything.
yeah, you have a really beautiful voice. I got a chance to listen in on some hits, some tracks that people had sent me, and I was like, wow. I was like, Joseph, you have a really great voice. When did you discover that you couldn't just work behind the scenes, but you could also be in the front? At what point? I know that's what you're doing, but did you used to do that a long time ago?
I've always done gigs. I mean, I was up in Boston at Berkeley for a while, and I remember the first week of school, one of my teachers asked me to sub for him and his wedding band and club day band, and then all of a sudden that became like a daily thing. The money was really good, and it helped pay for the end of my college, and I stayed up there. I got a place in the back bay. I mean, it was really great. I was working a lot right from the get go, which to me was the best part of the education. So yeah, I always performed and did stuff like that. I always wrote as a hobby, and then basically artists that I would start producing and working with would ask me to help them with their bridges, their choruses, and yeah, I just figured, okay, well, I can do that, and so I did it and started breaking a lot of radio with a lot of different artists, and you do it long enough, you find your own rhythm, and I've always been a session player. I did a stint in Nashville for about 12 years. I worked as an A&R guy and a sessions keyboard player for a few studios there. And like I said, it was always like building the product with me, I guess, sort of like behind the scenes and helping dozens of artists get onto, Billboard radio and pop music, country music. And as you mentioned, the Grammy nomination was just a fluke thing. I was working on a classical record with somebody who was at Carnegie Hall, and she had this harp solo, and I guess the microphones probably just got out of phase during the solo. It disappeared. And I heard about this, people was like, oh, this person, yeah, I met her indirectly through someone else, and she was just out of her mind that the live recording was all messed up. And I said, well, give me a copy of the session. Let me see if I can fix it. And she's like, she's from France. And she originally said, she goes, this is not pop music. Okay, please, thank you. I said, just give me the session. And it was literally, I pushed a button on my console and the solo came back. And ever since then, I produced four albums for her, and one of them got nominated. And so it
That's
was
so
kind of cool. And now
wonderful.
we're the best of friends. She was a great person.
I think when you get a chance to work with people that you genuinely like nice people, you do become friends. Like you've worked with Dolly Parton, you've worked with so many people. It-
Mm.
What is that about that when somebody kind of vibes together and then they just kind of stay in your life forever? Do you notice that
I
about your
think
journey so far?
chemistry, yeah, it's intentional. It's like it's what's meant to be. I mean, not every project is that cohesive. I would say in my life, and I'm grateful for this, most of them have been. And the ones that haven't been, it's just been a difference of opinions, or, you know, they got tired of me or I got tired of them. But there aren't many of those, which is really a blessing. But a lot of it is just timing. I mean, the Dolly thing was an artist of mine who the record label I was working for passed on her, and I just thought she was great. I just said, I said they said no, we're not going to work with her. There's too many like her, and I said there's nobody like her. I said she's great, and we did the first record together, and then she landed. Dolly let us. She wrote "Fiddling Around" and produced it with us. After that charted all over Europe and then in the U.S., she auditioned for Dolly's Christmas shows, the ones on Hallmark every year. And she's been co-starring Dolly for like the last 5 years on that. And we landed her a bunch of endorsement deals, and now she's playing with George Strait's band. I mean, and that was it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of great talent out there, and unfortunately, it's hard for record labels to decipher, which one's going to be the next big thing. But this label passed on her, and I met the person. I said, let me get to know her. I went to one of her shows in Nashville. She was doing a bunch of what you call it, songwriter rounds, and like listening room, Commodore, and all that. And I didn't tell her I was going to be there, but I went to a couple of them. I said, man, this woman's great. I said, I don't know what it is. I said, maybe I'm just wet behind the ears in country music. But I said to the family, I said, listen, I'll work with her. I said, you know, just let's do a song or two together. I said, you cover my airfare wherever you live, whatever we're doing. I said, and let's see what happens. And the first record went out, and it was great. And again, we're best buddies, even with the family, the father, the mother, they're great people.
That's really nice. Now you have Valentine, and what's this next one that's dropping? What's this next song?
Um, for all you know, I don't know if Ken, your assistant or news guy, sent it to
Yes.
you, but for all you know, is up on YouTube. We just shot the video at the bitter end, sort of like a nostalgic thing, because I had gotten an artist signed there years ago that sort of paved my way for a long time. And so the owner of the bitter end said, "Not only are you shooting your video here, you're going to do your iHeart show here." And I said, "Okay." And it sold out in like literally no time, which I was so flattered. I can't believe it.
Congratulations on all of that. And instruments, how many different instruments do you play, Joseph?
Um, well, I'm primarily a piano player, singer, but I do play rhythm guitar and I play bass a lot on gigs. Actually, I just love the bass, and so and also it helps me stand up sometimes, so I'm not always like hunched over at the piano. But I love doing that stuff. I mean, I play brass and stuff, but I mean mainly I'm a piano player, singer, and then I could do what I need to do to make the record perfect. Just give me 100 takes and it'll be good.
100 takes. Well, I hope that we did this in one take. I
Yeah,
genuinely, sincerely thank you so much for being here. I would love to come see you perform live. So my people will talk to your people, or you could just contact me directly. I'm pretty easy to find. You are such a
yeah.
delight, such a talent, and I appreciate you very much.
I appreciate you and thank you for allowing the time for me to be on your show.
Oh my gosh, you're so very welcome. And maybe what? Maybe this one will go all the way up top of Billboard. I'm predicting it. Let me see. Like, Johnny Carson used to do the amazing Carmack. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Joseph James, all the way up. All right. Thank you, my friend. Be well. Bye bye.